Hey everyone, good to see you this Monday morning, February 2nd, 2026. Look, I know it's been a rough few days with this cold, and trust me, I wish I had better news for you. We're still in the middle of this Arctic freeze that decided to camp out over southern Ontario for the weekend, and unfortunately, it's not quite done with us yet. About 35 communities are still dealing with those yellow cold warnings, which means we're looking at some pretty nasty wind chill numbers this morning. I'm talking -20 to -27 across the GTA, the kind of cold that'll bite your face the second you step outside. But you know what? Before we dive into today's conditions, can we just take a moment to appreciate how absolutely wild this January was? Toronto Pearson Airport just recorded 88.2 centimeters of snow for the month. That's not just a lot, that's record-breaking. We shattered a record that's been standing since 1937. Think about that for a second. 1937. And now we're dealing with the cleanup while Mother Nature keeps throwing more at us. But anyway, let me walk you through what's happening today and what you need to watch out for this week. So first things first, this morning's commute. If you were one of those brave souls who headed out between 5 and 7 a.m., you felt exactly what I'm about to describe. Wind chills around -25 to -27. The actual temperature was sitting at -13, but those northwest winds were just brutal, gusting up to 30 kilometers per hour. Environment Canada's been saying this is the coldest air mass we've had since February 2023, which honestly feels like forever ago. The good news, and yeah, there is some good news, is that this yellow warning should lift by early afternoon. Temperatures are going to ease up a bit, but we're definitely not jumping into spring anytime soon. Toronto's high today is going to struggle to reach -4. We'll see some breaks in the clouds, maybe a bit of sunshine peeking through this afternoon, which is nice. Winds from the northwest at 20 clicks, gusting to 30. So that wind chill this morning, it's sitting at -18, and by this afternoon it'll improve to around -12. Still cold, but definitely better than what we woke up to. Now here's the thing though. Overnight snow that rolled through late Sunday into early Monday left us with about 3 to 7 centimeters across the GTA. Roads are slippery, folks. The 401, the DVP, the Gardner, they're all dealing with snow-covered lanes and reduced speeds right now. If you're heading into downtown Toronto this morning, seriously, build in an extra 20 to 30 minutes. I know that's frustrating, especially on a Monday, but trust me, it's better to arrive late than to rush and end up in a fender bender. Municipal crews were out all night trying to stay ahead of this, and they've done a pretty solid job on the main arteries, but residential streets might still have some accumulation. If you see a plow working your street, do everyone a favor and move your car so they can do their job properly. Tonight's going to stay cold. We're looking at partly cloudy skies with overnight lows between -14 and -18. Those wind chills are coming back too, dropping to around -23 by Tuesday morning. So basically, we're extending this cold snap into the early part of the week. If you're in Mississauga, Brampton, Vaughan, pretty much anywhere in the GTA, expect the same conditions I just outlined for Toronto. Now let's swing over to Ottawa and Eastern Ontario, because you guys had it even rougher overnight. Ottawa woke up to -14 degrees with wind chills hitting -28 this morning. That snowfall warning that was up yesterday has ended, which is great news, but not before dropping 18 to 23 centimeters on the region. That's pretty much exactly what was forecast, so no surprises there, but it's still a lot of snow to deal with. Today you're looking at cloudy skies clearing to some sunshine this afternoon with a high of -3. A bit warmer than Toronto, actually. Wind chill improves to -14 by mid-afternoon, but you'll still want to cover up if you're heading outside. Tonight in Ottawa, temperatures drop to -16 with wind chills near -22 under partly cloudy skies. The city's winter parking ban that kicked in yesterday is still active today from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., while crews continue cleanup operations. If you're across the river in Gatineau, normal parking rules are back in effect as of 6 a.m. this morning. Kingston saw similar totals overnight, somewhere between 15 and 20 centimeters. They've declared a significant weather event, and they're saying it might take until Tuesday afternoon to get all the residential streets fully cleared. The Artillery Park Warming Center is staying open extended hours, 9 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. through Tuesday for anyone who needs a warm place to go. Let's head west to Hamilton and the Niagara region. Lake Ontario is doing you guys a bit of a favor here, providing some moderating influence. Hamilton's looking at a high today between -5 and -7, with overnight lows tonight around -10 to -14. Wind chills this morning are still near -25 though, so don't let those slightly warmer actual temperatures fool you. Burlington and Oakville picked up about 4 to 6 centimeters overnight, less than what areas further east received. The QEW is mostly clear this morning, but watch out for icy patches, especially on bridges and overpasses where that cold air circulates underneath. Over in London and southwestern Ontario, today's high reaches -5 to -9 with northwest winds at 20 kilometers per hour. London only got 2 to 4 centimeters overnight, so impacts there were pretty minimal. No additional snow in the forecast for today either, which is a nice break for that region. You'll just be dealing with those cold temperatures through Tuesday. Now, if you're up in Barrie, Muskoka, or anywhere in Cottage country, last night was rough for you. 8 to 12 centimeters in many areas, and wind chills this morning reached -30 to -35. These areas have already been pounded with lake effect snow over the past 2 weeks. And now this, on top of everything else. Highway 400 north of Barrie is snow-covered this morning with reduced visibility in some blowing snow. If you absolutely have to travel north today, take it slow and be careful out there. Northern Ontario is dealing with the most extreme conditions across the province. Actual temperatures around -32 to -38, with wind chills hitting -43 to locally -48. Timmins recorded -35 this morning, making it one of the coldest spots. Thunder Bay is sitting at -28 with wind chills near -40. Windsor, on the other hand, is the warmest spot in the province at -9.4. It's wild how much variation we see across Ontario on days like this. All right, so let's talk about the health side of things for a minute because this is important. When wind chills drop below -25, frostbite becomes a real threat in just minutes. Watch for color changes on your fingers and toes, any numbness, tingling, or swelling. If you start feeling any of those symptoms, get inside immediately and warm up gradually. Seek medical attention if you need to. The people most at risk are young kids, elderly folks, and anyone experiencing homelessness right now. Toronto's got 8 warming centers open, including that new one at John Innes Community Centre with 30 extra emergency spaces. These places are staying operational through Tuesday night while this cold hangs around. And listen, if it's too cold for you outside, it's definitely too cold for your pets. Bring your dogs and cats in, make sure any outdoor animals have proper shelter, and check on them regularly. Pets can get frostbite too, especially on their paws, ears, and tails. So what's coming for the rest of the week? Tuesday, February 3rd, Toronto's looking at a high of -6 with a low of -15. Mix of sun and cloud, light winds from the west at 15 kilometers per hour. Wind chills will be in the -16 to -20 range throughout the day. Still cold, but definitely an improvement over today. Tuesday night drops to -15 with partly cloudy skies and wind chills near -22. Wednesday, February 4th, this is when things get interesting again. We've got a new weather system approaching from the west, and Toronto's forecast shows a high of -7 with a 70% chance of snow developing in the afternoon and evening. This is the system we've been tracking, and it looks like it's going to bring some significant accumulation to much of southern Ontario. Overnight Wednesday into Thursday, temperatures drop to -12, but more importantly, snow will be falling steadily. Wednesday afternoon through Friday morning, February 4th through 6th, we're tracking what could be a pretty major snowstorm for southern Ontario. Now look, we're still about 36 hours out from when this thing kicks off, so exact timing and amounts have some wiggle room. But multiple forecast models are showing strong agreement that this is going to be a significant event. What we're dealing with here is something meteorologists call an overrunning situation. Basically, warm, moist air slides up and over a layer of cold air that's already sitting at the surface. When that happens, you get these long periods of steady, persistent snow that can really add up over 18 to 30 hours. Right now, early indications suggest we could be looking at another 20 to 30 centimeters across much of southern Ontario by Friday morning. Some models are even showing potential for 35 to 45 centimeters in the hardest hit areas, particularly along the western GTA and the Lake Ontario shoreline. And remember, this is coming on top of everything we've already gotten. We just wrapped up a record-breaking January. Timing looks like snow starts Wednesday, late afternoon or early evening, somewhere between 4 and 6 p.m., and continues through most of Thursday. Peak snowfall rates could hit 2 to 4 centimeters per hour Wednesday night into Thursday morning, which is going to make it really tough for plows to keep up. By Friday morning, the system should be pulling away to the east, but we'll be left with a big cleanup job and those cold temperatures sticking around. Looking at the weekend, February 7th through 9th, mostly sunny skies but staying cold with highs in the -8 to -12 range. Below seasonal norms for early February. Here's something you should know. All this snow we're getting isn't going anywhere for a while. Normally, after a big storm, we'd get a thaw within a few days and some melting. But Environment Canada's long-range forecast is showing temperatures staying below normal through at least mid-February. So the snow we have now, plus whatever we get Wednesday through Friday, is going to stick around. If you love winter activities, this is actually great news. Snowmobiling, skiing, ice fishing, all gonna have excellent conditions. But if you're one of those people counting down the days until spring, well, you're going to have to be patient. The overall February forecast calls for average temperatures around -2, which is actually 3 degrees above normal for the month. But early February is shaping up to be one of the coldest and snowiest stretches of the entire winter season. Total precipitation for the month is forecast at 75 millimeters, about 20 millimeters above the long-term average. Let me put this winter into perspective for you. That 46-centimeter snowfall we had on January 26th set an all-time single-day record for Toronto Pearson Airport. The previous record didn't even come close, and January's total of 88.2 centimeters absolutely demolished the old monthly record of 70.1 centimeters. These are records that stood since 1937 when they started keeping detailed snow measurements at the airport. What makes this particularly notable is that we're seeing sustained cold temperatures along with all this snow. Usually Toronto gets some warmer breaks mixed in, temperatures climbing above freezing for a day or two to give us some relief. This year, it's been relentlessly winter. Temperatures have stayed below seasonal for most of the past 3 weeks. The last time we had cold this intense and this persistent was February 2023, 3 years ago. If you're an older resident who remembers winters from the 70s and 80s, this probably feels familiar. Those classic winters when snow piled up and temperatures stayed below freezing for weeks. Now let's talk about travel because this is going to affect a lot of you. Highway 401 through the GTA is snow-covered this morning with reduced speeds between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour in many sections. Crews are working hard to clear lanes, but with the overnight accumulation and rush hour traffic, it's going to take until late morning to get things back to normal. If you're heading westbound from Pickering toward Mississauga, factor in extra time. Highway 416 heading north toward Barrie, conditions are snow-covered with wind chills near -35 in the Barrie area. The 402 and 404 in the eastern GTA are also reporting snow-covered conditions. Highway 417 between Ottawa and the Quebec border got hit with the heaviest snow overnight, 20 centimeters in some sections. Plows worked all night, but you should still expect slower travel times today. Honestly, if your trip can wait until this afternoon when conditions improve, that's probably your best bet. Looking ahead to Wednesday and Thursday, we could see major disruptions on the highways if this forecast storm delivers. The 401 through the GTA, the QEW through Burlington and Niagara, Highway 400 north of Toronto, all could be severely impacted. Keep checking updates because conditions could go downhill fast once that system moves in Wednesday afternoon. Toronto Pearson had some delays this morning because of snow clearing operations on runways and aircraft de-icing. If you've got a flight today, check with your airline before you head to the airport. Looking ahead, if you've got flights booked for Wednesday evening, Thursday, or Friday morning, stay in touch with your airline. We could see significant cancellations and delays during the peak of that storm. School boards are keeping a close eye on conditions today. Some boards canceled bus service on rural routes this morning because of snow-covered roads and extreme wind chills, but schools are open. Watch for announcements Tuesday evening or early Wednesday morning about possible closures or cancellations for Wednesday and Thursday as that storm approaches. Rural bus routes are especially vulnerable when we've got heavy snow and extreme cold in the forecast. Quick word about infrastructure during these cold stretches. Water mains are at higher risk of freezing and bursting when temperatures stay this cold for extended periods. We've already had several water main breaks across the GTA over the past 48 hours. If you've got pipes in exterior walls or unheated areas, let your taps drip slightly. That small stream of moving water can prevent freezing and potential bursting. Your heating system is working overtime right now. If you've got an older furnace, listen for unusual sounds or smells that might signal a problem. Get it checked out if something seems off, because a furnace failure during this cold snap would be a nightmare. Power outages are more serious when it's this cold. Make sure you've got an emergency kit ready with flashlights, batteries, blankets, and non-perishable food. Hydro One reported about 3,500 customers without power across southern and eastern Ontario this morning from overnight snow and ice buildup on power lines. Crews are working on restoration, but in some rural areas, it might take until evening. If we get hit with that major storm Wednesday through Friday, we could see more widespread outages from heavy snow on power lines and tree branches. Utilities are getting crews and equipment ready for that possibility. All right, let me bring this all together for you. Today, Monday, February 2nd, we're still dealing with extreme cold. Wind chills of -20 to -27 this morning across southern Ontario. Overnight snow impacted the morning commute 3 to 7 centimeters across the GTA and 15 to 23 in eastern Ontario. Roads are slippery and snow-covered, so take your time and drive carefully. Tuesday looks quieter, just the cold continuing with no precipitation. But Wednesday through Friday, that major snowstorm is looking likely. We could see another 20 to 45 centimeters depending on where you are. This is still developing, and I'll be back tomorrow with much more detailed information on amounts and timing. Stay aware of the weather, check Environment Canada for updates, and make sure you're prepared for winter to continue through at least the first half of February. If you can, stock up on groceries and essentials before Wednesday so you don't have to go out during the worst of the storm. If this forecast helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe for daily updates. Turn on notifications so you catch tomorrow's forecast, especially with that storm coming midweek. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bundle up when you're outside, keep your pets inside during this cold, and drive carefully on those slippery roads this morning. I'll be back tomorrow with more details on Wednesday's storm. Stay safe and stay warm out there, Ontario.